Good evening, Vietnam. Welcome to LZ Bunker. This is Veterans Live Show. I'm your host, Ronnie Embers. I served with the 101st Airborne Division in Vietnam from December 67 to December 68. Tonight's guest is AMVETS National Commander Jan Brown. She has served her country for 27 years in the United States Air Force and retired as a Senior Master Sergeant. She will be discussing Rolling to Remember, the big Memorial Day event in Washington, D.C. this year. Nearly 100,000 vets and bikers ride to D.C. each Memorial Day from all over the country. Commander Brown will tell you everything you need to know about it. Rolling to Remember, how to register for the event, watch the event, or maybe even volunteer for the event. We will speak to Jan in a few moments, but first I would like to let you know that the Veterans Live Show is brought to you by the Vietnam Veterans book, Fallen Never Forgotten. You can visit fallenneverforgotten.com to get your copy of a 265-page book that brings you one memorial from each state, usually the state memorial, and gives you a profile about it, how it got the funds, the property, who did the sculptures, all the things about where they got the granite, the landscape architecture, and lists all the guys who never came home. Headlines. Let's go to the headline section. Memorial Day is just around the corner. We will be broadcasting from Thunder Alley, next to the Vietnam Wall in Washington, D.C., adjacent to the Lincoln Memorial. We will also be live streaming events and doing interviews, so stay tuned to our Facebook pages and subscribe to our Vietnam Veterans Live Show YouTube channel so you can know exactly where we are and stop by and say hello and maybe get interviewed, or else just come on the show. Go to Vietnam Veterans Club, Vietnam Veterans Photo Club on Facebook and sign in. Okay, now we're going to do the timeline. The Vietnam War timeline, May 12th, 1968. My goodness, 53 years ago. The second large-scale communist offensive began on May 5th. It reaches its climax. It began with the simultaneous shelling of 119 cities, towns, and barracks. The principal target was Saigon. U.S. jets dropped napalm and high-explosive bombs to pound the Viet Cong stronghold in the slum district around the Y Bridge, preparing the way for an assault by the United States infantry. Number two, the number one song on May 12th, 1968 was Tighten Up. Okay, guys, hit it. Now, Archie Bell and the Drells. There you go. Okay, this day in the Vietnam War, May 12th, 1975. The American freighter Mayaguez is captured by communist forces in Cambodia, setting up an international incident. The Mayaguez was captured by gunboats of the Cambodian Navy. Authorities imprisoned 39-man American crew. We got him released. The number one song on May 12, 1975 was He Don't Love You Like I Love You by Tony Orlando and Dawn. Okay, so let's now go to the photo segment. Okay, what do we got? First photograph by Nancy Thomas. Want to give a holler for all our four-legged Vietnam veterans also. They saved many a soldier. They didn't get a welcome home. And it's such a shame they were not able to bring them back to America. That is the most absurd thing I could remember from that war, to tell you the truth. Why couldn't the dogs come home? I got to get an answer. Thank you for bringing it up. I got to research that. Okay, next photo by Ray Cassidy. Some days the heat and humidity were almost more than one could bear. If not wet from rain, you were soaked in sweat and filth. Skin on your feet came off in phlegm like gobs. Skin ailments, ringworm, impetigo, and God knows what else. Yeah, all kinds of things like that. Thank you for that picture. Next picture. McDaniel Bryant, Chief Hospital Corpsman. Stephen Brown, 1st Marines, talks with 2 refugee kids at Quang Nam Province, November 1st, 1970. And as always, the kids suffered the most. Yeah, we're going to do a segment on a show on kids pretty soon coming up. So get your photographs ready, guys. Next picture from Michael Lawrence, my FO, that's a forward observer for artillery, and I returning to Dong Ha from TDY with Arvin Rangers, headed back to Con Tien. That's a hellhole. Next picture. Fred Krieg, our convoy, and it appears to be just before we hit the mountains. We are apparently taking a break. I took this photo from the back of a deuce and a half truck, aka deuce and a half. Yeah, sorry about that. That was my, sorry, Fred, but that was my normal way to see a 2.5 English deuce and a half. Thank you for that picture. Okay, our Vietnam card of the week. Imagine they made trading cards about Vietnam. Here we go. Search and destroy mission. Yep. There you go. Look, got some Kong captives there. With South Vietnam continuing to suffer heavy casualties, General Westmoreland increases American troop levels and commences search and destroy tactical operations. In these operations, larger fighting units would find, fix, and place, fight, and destroy enemy forces and their bases. Later clearing operations would flush out remaining communists. Search and destroy. Yeah. Okay, what do we got now? Hello, Jan.
Hi.
Welcome into the bunker.
Thank you.
And thank you for your service.
Thank you for yours.
27 years. My goodness gracious. Now you're commander of AMVETS. I'm an AMVET member, by the way.
Oh, good.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm a member of everything.
Me too.
And believe me, they remind you. They remind you. Like 25. Yeah, don't forget to send your dues in. Okay. This is a big deal coming up in DC every year. So why don't you tell us what your beginning from AMVETS started and to today?
Well, we really haven't started. We took over when Rolling Thunder decided after 32 years not to continue with the ride. AMVETS took it upon ourselves to, we feel very strongly that this ride needs to be continued. It's a First Amendment ride. It's a demonstration ride to continue to bring attention to the over 80,000 men and women who are still missing in action and our POWs, so that Congress will continue to fund our efforts to bring them home. And we felt that it's been very important. Last year was exceptionally frustrating. We got all the way to the finish line and COVID hit, and we were not allowed to do much of anything. There were about 50 of us who rode anyway. And we did have a presence in the city. We did virtual rides throughout the country in support of the ride. And this year, it's been almost as frustrating. We didn't know until Monday exactly where we would be staging from. And because the Pentagon waited till the last minute to tell us no. And then it was, the city of DC was not open yet. And so.
Excuse me one moment. Did the Pentagon tell you why?
They said COVID.
What did COVID do with a motorcycle?
I don't know. I'm not going to get into that because we still want to stage from there in the future.
Okay, thank you. Very, very politically correct. I got you.
But anyway, we were going to stage from the streets. They had arranged for us to stage from the streets. And then as we started that meeting with all the police forces in the area, we got an announcement that restrictions would be lifted on May 21st so that we would be able to, if available, we would be able to use RFK Stadium. So effective today, we are using RFK Stadium to stage from. So
nice. Good.
That's a relief. Now it's, excuse the expression, balls to the walls until May 30th, getting it ready.
I hear you. You never know till the last minute down there.
Yeah. Well, fortunately we can go with the flow and we're pretty flexible. So we just hope everybody else is. Yeah.
How'd you get involved with this?
With Rolling to Remember?
Well,
or just AMVETS?
And AMVETS, both.
when I met at the time, my future husband, he was very active in AMVETS and decided that if we were going to be together, I needed to be active in AMVETS also. And it's kind of like, if they don't like you, you're out, so I guess they like me. It's my second year as commander, so I'm working on it. But I got into it initially, and it has become my life pretty much. Serving veterans, which is what we're known. We like to think we're known for, and taking on causes.
Right.
I like to say that AMVETS, we take on the stuff that other established veteran service organizations wouldn't, like taking over Rolling Thunder, we developed our HEAL team. We're trying to work outside the box to help veterans. And I really like the fact that we do that. And doesn't always work, but you know what, at least we tried. So.
And what's the percentage of the younger troops coming in from Afghanistan, the Iraqi war in the 90s, then the 2011?
The current generation of veterans. It's low. It's probably under 5% coming into the VSOs. They may be in the IAVA or Wounded Warrior. They're more of a, particularly IAVA, they're more of a legislative lobbying kind of group. They're not a traditional veteran service organization like AMVETS or American Legion, VFW. They don't have like post homes or any place. You join, they verify your service, and they print you out a membership card.
Right.
So, but theirs is primarily, their mission is lobbying on the Hill to make sure that this generation of veterans doesn't go through what the Vietnam
the lowest standard ever.
Yes, my husband was in Vietnam, did 2 tours, and is a brown water sailor, and he was on LCMs about the time you were there. And then came back and did another tour. I was in the Philippines when Saigon fell. So in May of '75, when Saigon fell, I was there, and was there for Operation Baby Lift and Operation Freedom Lift. So, while I didn't serve in country, I did have a connection.
Yeah, for sure.
It means a lot to me, and this ride means a lot to me. So. I would encourage anybody that can to come out. Friday night, we're doing the vigil at the Vietnam Wall and laying a wreath on Friday night. There'll be activities throughout the area on Saturday at the different Harley dealerships, and then Sunday morning we'll be gearing up for the main event, and we'll be taking off out of RFK Stadium at noon on Sunday, and go until they're all out. And the route is obviously different this year since we're not leaving from the Pentagon. We're also looking at, it's changed enough that we're not going over Memorial Bridge, which saddens me a little bit, but hopefully.
Yeah, it's a bit much. Beth Arlington, yeah.
But
we're going to go to the video now, Jan.
Okay.
Let's go. Matt, roll it up. Sounds good. Okay. How did we get that name?
Rolling,
Fabulous.
rolling. Yeah, it is. We had like a little contest to see who come up with the name, and we had to find one that wasn't being used somewhere else, and but still invoked what we were trying to do. And so Rolling to Remember was suggested, and I kind of got the final decision, so I made it, and because I think it says it all. We're rolling on to remember.
Yeah. Right. So fabulous photos there, and video was good. This guy, we interviewed this Marine 2 weeks ago.
Tim Chambers, yes, the saluting Marine.
Yes.
He'll be back this year. So
yeah, we're going to say hello to him. But he was on our show. It was great to have him. Look at these guys. Here you go.
Yeah, that's my husband in the front.
All right. And his name?
John Brown.
John. Okay. John and Jan. Good.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's Tom McNamara. He's our writers president there in the front.
Right.
And so
how many members of AMVETS have?
Roughly active members as far as on the veteran side, about 250,000.
Really?
Yeah, give or take.
Wow.
So we're not the biggest, but we're the best.
Why? You better say that.
Hey, I belong to them all too. So
and when was this? When was this founded?
1946, I believe.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes. It was a World War II organization. They later added Korea, then Vietnam. And in the 70s, we changed our charter to accept any honorably discharged veteran, regardless of when they served, so long as it was after World War II. So we also take Guard and Reserve, whether or not they were deployed. And it's the most inclusive veteran service organization there is.
Yeah, so that's fair. That's good. I mean, if you served, you could be stationed at home for 20 years.
But you know what? You were there and ready to go.
Exactly right. Yeah. You know, it's a funny thing. I get a lot of, I'll see a guy and I'll say, where'd you serve? He goes, oh, I was in Germany. I didn't go to Vietnam. They sent me to Germany. Well, so what? Somebody had to do it. You know what I mean?
It is. I had a young, right after I retired, I was sitting at a bar and I was talking to this guy, and he was telling me about his brother, how his brother was a combat veteran. And I said, right. And then he talked about him being in the Air Force. And I said, well, you're eligible. And he goes, oh no, I'm not a veteran. I didn't serve in combat. And I just looked at him and I said, you sound like my women veterans who say that because they didn't serve in combat, they're not veterans. Or if you wore the uniform and served honorably, you were a veteran.
Right. Yeah.
In a story. So
it seems like they have this guilt trip, you know what I mean? That is laid upon them, and it's hard to get away from it. It seems, but somebody had to be in Germany, somebody had to be in Korea, somebody had to be
behind the lines,
somebody had to be in Guam, somebody had to be in Panama, and somebody had to be in the States. So hey, you know, that Vietnam era stuff, I don't go for that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, let them. They served, and now they're proud members. So what else does AMVETS do?
Oh, well, we like most veteran service organizations, we have service officers throughout the country that help veterans file claims for disabilities. We have a very large Americanism program in our elementary, middle, and high schools. We're very active with Freedoms Foundation. Everything's been kind of slow this year because of COVID. Right. As is everything. We're still not all back in the building yet. It's kind of hit and miss. And Prince George County is still kind of locked down a little bit, but we're starting to lift up a little bit. Our mission is just to serve our members and other veterans and their families. My little post in Struthers, Ohio, where I belong, you know, we during the shutdown, you know, the quarantines, we did a number of food giveaways, and we tried to reserve like the first 2 hours for veterans. Then after that, it was anybody in the community who needed food, and we did that I think 5 times over the last year.
That's really decent.
and a lot of posted things like that. And, we try to we do work with our local police departments and fire departments, shop with the cops every Christmas. We host those kind of things, and a lot of stuff we do is legislative. We are, when the Hill is open, we try to, we're up there every spring pounding on the Hill, for legislative items that we want for our veterans.
For our non-DC people, tell them what the Hill is.
The Hill is Capitol Hill. Capitol Hill. We visit our congressmen and senators, and we break up. We have about 200 people that hit the Hill all at once, and the guards call it March Madness. But we get up there and we try to get the ear of it. We try to visit every single office on the Hill. And last time we got to go, we were asked to leave because that was when they first started shutting down. Apparently, there have been a couple people on the Hill that had contracted the coronavirus, and we were asked to leave. And
right. Okay. Well, I don't know if I asked you. I don't think I did. What did you do in the service?
I started out as a medical lab technician, and then I retrained I was a aeromedical evacuation technician on 130s. And then I spent my last 15 years as a recruiter.
Good old 130s.
130s.
Used to jump into that thing. That was an animal.
I still know that airplane inside and out.
Yeah, they still fly over my house.
Yep.
They go to Stewart Air Force Base up here in Newburgh.
Yep. They're still inactive. I was on A, B, and H models. And,
I don't know the difference, but all I know is C-130.
Yeah. They're all pretty much the same. They're just decked out in the inside a little differently.
The thing is, I never landed in one.
You never landed in one.
Well, anything else you'd like to say before we sign off?
Anybody that is interested in coming to Rolling to Remember, volunteering at Rolling to Remember riding, you can find out what you need at rollingtoremember.com or AMVETS.org. And there's a link on the AMVETS to the Rolling to Remember. Pretty much anything, if you can leave a question, you can call the central number and ask a question. I'll probably end up answering, but we'll try to get everybody, anybody's questions answered. So,
okay. Now we have a question and answer session.
Okay.
Or comments, whatever.
Whatever.
All righty. What do we got here, Matt? Jim Harris, thank you, soldiers, for your service and sacrifice. I hate to be negative, but it just burns me up. The lack of cooperation from the Pentagon and our government should be doing everything possible that can make this event possible. It's disgusting, but I applaud organizers for still, despite the lack of cooperation, making it happen. Thank you.
I appreciate that sentiment. It's been frustrating, but we decided we were going to make it happen. And quite frankly, the police, there's like 6 different jurisdictions right in this area. They don't want 100,000 motorcyclists because they were coming anyway. And they don't want them riding around we have controlled chaos. That would just be chaos. So.
Right. You're right. You're right.
So at least we have a starting and an ending point with us, otherwise it's just people riding around.
Yeah. Like this all over.
Yes.
Okay. Next question or comment. Where can someone register for the ride to remember, Rolling to Remember, or find info?
So that would be at rollingtoremember.com. And we have our own webpage for that. And there's also a Facebook page with almost instant updates. It's also Rolling to Remember.
Great. Okay. Anything else, Matt? I guess that's up. rollingtoremember.com. Okay, that came up. That's good. People could see that. Okay. Well, I want to thank you very much.
Well, thank you.
Do you have any questions? Any answers?
Now that I know, where did you serve in Vietnam?
Oh, gee. Landed in Bien Hoa, trucked over to Kuchi, spent a month there. Then we flew up to Fubai, and then trucked into LZ Jane, then LZ Sally at Camp Evans and I-Corps up at the DMZ in the Ashore Valley.
You were all over. You got the country tour.
Yeah, more or less. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you for your service, and thank you for doing this live broadcast every week.
Oh yeah, no, it's great. My son had the idea, and he's the tech guy. I'm the resource guy, and that's what we do. You know what I mean? It's like people like you and all the other guests we had on, from corpsmen to pilots to chopper pilots to grunts to you name it, supply clerks and association presidents, you know, things like that, like yourself, as well as not just being a veteran, but
right.
Yeah, it's we try to bring a total fill the whole circle with the family.
So this is on every Wednesday night at
8:30 Eastern time.
8:30.
Yeah,
Very
8:30
good.
Eastern time. Correct.
I will look for it.
Yeah, it was hard to pick a time. And it's on, and you'll see it on YouTube, or else Vietnam Veterans Photo Club. That's our main Facebook page. Has about 85,000 members. And then we have another 4 or 5 website Facebook pages that Matt's put together, and we have another 50 or 60,000 members with those. So altogether, between about 150, 175,000 people.
That's wonderful.
See our stuff. Yeah, we gotta. I don't know. I just took. I had Kodak Instamatic cartridges in my ammo pouches with Chuckles and Lifebuoy soap. Lifebuoy, yeah.
Lifebuoy soap. Yep.
Yeah. And I was trading more stuff and having ammo. So if the guys wanted candy, they had to give me a clip. You laugh. I took a
No,
lot.
I believe it.
I took about 800 photographs. I have everything from my travel orders back and forth to Vietnam. I have my medical card still. I have shot records, all kinds of orders, all kinds of pictures. The Christmas menu from President Johnson, I guess it was at the time.
We have the Thanksgiving menu on in the bar top at our post.
There you go.
From when my husband was in Vietnam, that
Right.
was, the Thanksgiving menu's there. So
yeah, that's sweet. Good for you. Well,
yeah.
thank you very much.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. And welcome home, sister.
Sure.
Thank you.
You too.
And thank you very much out there. Just make sure to check us out on Veterans Live Show, and also the Vietnam book, Fallen Never Forgotten. You can see that somewhere sometime on a website, fallenneverforgotten.com. And hope to see you next week. And if you want to be on the show, just write us at Vietnam Veterans Photo Club and send your pictures in as well. Thank you very much. God bless you, and welcome home.